do is I got, ooh, actually, you know what, let me come over here, and I got performance bushings, performance bushings. I got a whole kit for the car minus the sway bar, because I didn't get the sway bar, anyway, that's for another day. So what I did do, what I needed was the rear control arms, or the drag links, or the dog bones, if you will. I needed the bushings on those replaced. The reason why is because you could grab the wheel and push it in, pull it out, and the bushings were just not in good shape, right? And this one here was especially bad because you could take and push this thing in, just pull the wheel and just push it in real hard. So I do need to have it aligned. As you guys can kind of see here, it doesn't look as bad as it did, but the toe and the camber's all messed up on this side. You can kind of see that. So that being said, you look at the driver's side, it doesn't look too bad, but we are going to have to tighten up the suspension a little bit. So I'm underneath my Corvette, and I just got one of these off. This is a lower control arm, or a dog bone, or a trailing arm. Depends on who you're talking to, because these things are called many different things. I've also heard spindle stabilizing rod. As far as the ends themselves, you have one big end, which is the rear, and one small end. Now, this is relative. They're the same diameter, they appear. But anyway, the hole here is different. So this here's the front of the car. Goes there. And this is the rear of the car. Now, the socket size that I'm using, 15 millimeter on this side, 18 millimeter on this side. There is a little bit of a flare on the bolt, and on the back on this nut. There is a hole in the back of the body here. You can't really see it, but there's a hole behind each one of these. See, I'm putting my finger in the frame there. There's a hole there, and there's a hole down there for the bolt to go through. Now, if you have a problem putting them in, there is a high likelihood you're going to drop them into the frame. You can get them out, but it is a task, let's just say. I have never done that, but I can see how people could, and I do see on forums that people have lost them and never gotten them back. So then they have an annoying rattle. This here is the bolt that goes through here. There are two little washers that go on the outside of this thing right here, like this, on either side here, and this bolt here. The bolt and nut on this are both 24 millimeters, and for some reason I didn't have a 24 millimeter socket. I have 24 millimeters everywhere, wrenches and stuff, but I don't have 24 millimeter socket, so I had to go run and get one. 15/16 also works. I did back this up with a 15/16 wrench. If you can't get a breaker bar, or a cheater pipe on your wrench, then getting a breaker bar also will work. 15/16 is a good substitute for the 24 millimeter if you don't have one. Anyway, that being said, let's go over this again. 15 millimeters, 18 millimeters, 24. Now, I looked all over the place because this is kind of blind. I didn't really have very, very good light getting back in there. I couldn't really see what the bolt was doing back there, but it's very straightforward. But anyway, the nut on the back side does have a little flange on the end of it. So when you have the wrench on it, you don't have to worry about dropping it into that hole, but make sure you back the bolt off completely. And one thing that I did in order to do this, I'm doing this one at a time. Okay, so I'm going to do the top and then I'm going to do the bottom, but I'm not going to tighten them down because in the service manual it says to get it below, or get it at the bottom rest period, you know, for your suspension, and then you can torque it down. What I did was I took and jacked up the spindle back here on this nut here. There's not much tension on it. There's not much weight on it really. All I did was took the spindle and kind of rocked it forward enough to where I could get that control arm out. First I tried down here, but that wasn't happening. Didn't quite get the twisting motion I was looking for, but that worked out good for me. Anyway, guys, I hope this helps. You know, if you guys are from the Midwest and you have never seen a clean C4, here you go. You know, when you're looking at a C4 to purchase in the upper Midwest, you definitely want to look at this stuff here, because this stuff tends to rust. And I don't care who you are. Oh, it's clean doesn't mean anything if there's rust all over the place. My car doesn't have any rust. I made sure of, I mean, you know, this stuff here, you know, this is normal. But that being said, car has no rust. I mean, yes, that's going to happen. But anyway, car has no rust, and it's a good indicator of, you know, if the car has rust, is to get underneath here and look. And with the spare tire gone, you can see the whole suspension on the back. You can see this this frame rail here. Really easy to do. So I'm gonna take some time, and I'm going to get these out. You can use a press, or you can torch them out. I've seen both methods, but yeah. Anyway, the Prothane bushings are going to go a lot nicer in there, and hopefully this corrects the problem that I've got. Basically, what's happening is the suspension's kind of doing this number, and I'm going to be replacing all of the bushings here while I'm here. So something's got to give here. And I know that these these bottom control rods, they don't have anything to do with what I'm looking for. And I know that my sway bar links need to be replaced. The end link bushings need to be replaced too. So we're just going to be replacing all the bushings we can in here while we're here. So questions or comments, feel free to leave in the comment section below. And as always, I'll catch you in the next video. Hopefully I won't have to work on this thing too much. But if I do, I'll bring you guys in for... I'm not going to show you how to do it, but I'll tell you what I'm doing. So if you guys have any questions about it, or if you've got experience with your stuff and you've had drama, feel free to share in the comment section. That way people can find encouragement when they're in this position and they're trying to figure out, hey, what am I doing here? What's going on here? You know, that way they aren't lost. You know, help your brother out. Thanks for watching, guys.